Hey there, it's Alex. I'm going to do personal video. It's going to be personal video. Oh, September 30th, 2020. There is some like light events happening. I feel like to a certain extent, there is a certain kind of light enveloping me and others that have been just indicated. I feel like this is also happening on Earth in a certain manner, and I think that's a good thing. I think that there's been a certain kind of events as of late, and to a certain degree, to a certain extent, yeah, there's a certain kind of going towards the light. It's like, oh yeah, I'd forgotten that. Technically speaking, as a physical, I can just go towards that beautiful light that means I was indicated, and it still works. It still works. I don't have to wait until I fully pass on physically to be able to open up lights around me, to be able to go towards light. I think that this isn't new. I think that there is other information on this physical planet Earth in multiple kinds of manners. I think with a laptop, light there. Oh, much better, much better. Yes, much better. Yeah, yeah, that's pretty well like that's how we feel about it for myself and the spiritual that Minjas needed, as well as the other dimensional that Minjas needed, and others to Marine Spirit Guides. We were like, I think going to the light is a decent. I think that would be good. And it was one of those things where. It was a sort of a realization and certain kind of head area energies trying to block it in a certain kind of manner, but I did it towards a certain kind of disclaimers and call words that Ms. needed. I did towards actually the ADHD, Alex James Hislop, and others to Bodmin Camp informational placement, the safeguards information is one of them. And I did it. That you know what? That's a good one too. That one works. But I did it towards beautiful light. Like I went towards beautiful light. I can't. It's like it's something that yeah. It's like going towards beautiful light, but then doing it towards a certain kind of safety disclaimers at the same time. It's kind of like that. So yeah, yeah, it was. I did. I stood on Earth, and I think that there was similar things happening in a certain sense, to a certain degree. And I think it's happening all over this planet physically in a certain manner. And yeah, there is safety regarding the light. Is one of those places that protects and defends. And I think that it's also quality of life, certain kind of quality of life, certain kind of promised lands. Um, I think it's much better. I think it's much better in a certain sense. You, no, in a certain sense, that's the thing. I mean, I did it towards there's like multiple areas of my body I was able to do going towards this beautiful light, and it was like, for some of us, we didn't have to fully pass on any other kinds of messages need to be able to do so. And it's a bit of a revelation. It's like, wouldn't that be a revelation if we knew that there's this beautiful light after we pass on, and it's like one of the most amazing things ever, and that we could, technically speaking, go towards that light while we're living life. I think that is the better way of it in many different fashions. And some are trying to pretend like, oh well, now there's gonna be a thing in here. It's like, nah, dude, you don't need to worry about that, man. This is for the real deal. All right, it's the real deal, is it? It is the real deal. That's what I'm saying. Like for real. Going to the light to a certain degree. Okay, yeah, it's the real deal. He isn't kidding, and that was it. But you can do it to my physical body, and you know it to be. You know it to be. What is this? You open up the light around me. In the ways in which I was needed, myself and others, Shabbat Marine Spirit Guides, give the permissions that means Spirit Guides indicate in regards to this communication to go towards the light areas that means I was indicated in regards to this communication. This is Alex James and others, Shabbat Marine Spirit Guides, saying this. In fact, open up the lights that means I was indicated around those that means Spirit Guides relayed, as well as, I think it would be decent. I mean, that's the thing of it. Yeah, interesting. There was a bit of a Joker smile this past day, and a bit of a shellacking. That is how I felt about it to a certain extent. I mean, I feel that way because well, because of obvious reasons. That's how I feel. There'd been certain kind of events in the spirit and another dimensional, and some trying to involve me. I think for obvious reasons to try and help and things of that nature. Um, And I did freak out a bit in regards to certain things, but still only went with what means where God's indicated. So ultimately passed that sort of test, to a certain extent. Um, yeah, but yeah, I think it's brilliant. I think things are working out, and we're gonna be able to experience the ways of life that we want to. We're gonna be able to play violent video games, and probably have to do some work to a certain extent. Yeah. Or maybe I'll put on that, that 1,000 years. Maybe I'll take a 40 and 50 years to a certain extent off that. Yeah. So instead of 1,000 years, be 950, and the other 50 years can be the physical. 50 years that are left in regards to my life and things of that nature. So, yeah, that would be decent, I think, to a certain extent. Yeah. So yeah, it's oh.